Hey guys, we're here with Vivek, who finished top 32 at YCS Vancouver with Mannadium. How are you liking the deck for the format?
Pretty good. I think the deck is super underrated. A lot of people wrote it off, but I think it can definitely catch people off guard, especially if they're not maining or at least siding Droll.
Awesome, and before we continue, definitely go check him out on YouTube, SnakeYGO. I'll have the link down below, and well, let's get right to the list.
Yep. So, most important card, 3 Visa Starfrost. I know some lists play 2 of this. I do side out 1 going second, but he's very important to see in every opening hand. You can summon him with Obsidian, and you can pop like basically any monster in your deck to summon him, and it gets you access to basically everything. So you need 3, I think. 3 Ram Hearts, just an extremely good card. You can use him to like dodge imperms on Reichhardt, for example, and then search also any Mannadium card, obviously. And by 1 card, he can get you to the Scareclaw engine just by himself. 3 Meek. So I'm only playing Meek in this deck, no Torrid. Torrid is just a brick. I don't see any reason to play that card. A lot of lists do, but there's really no point in this tournament where I wish that I had Torrid in my deck. So 3 Meek is definitely all you need. 3 Peaceful Planet. Yeah, the planet's not good to see by itself, but in combination with Meek or like any other tuner, it gives you lines like around Droll, and it's just a very good card. 3 Obsidian, pops any monster you control just to search the field spell. It's really good. And then if you have the field spell up, you can search any Mannadium spell or trap. Easily a 3 of. It's one of the best cards in the entire deck. And you can summon Vsauce or a monster with 1500 attack and 21 defense from your hand.
The best thing you could have.
Imagining it's a really good card for fixing your hand. You draw 2 cards and you can put 1 card from your hand on the bottom of the deck. It allowed me to get out of a couple of situations in this tournament, and allows you to draw into non-engine. Because if you're playing against one of the stronger decks like Unchained, you need to have some non-engine to be able to deal with their pushes when they're going second. It also has a graveyard effect, which sometimes comes up to make your guy a tuner, which can help you go into Crimson Dragon. Then Reframing, one of the best cards in the entire deck. When you have your combo with this to back it up, it's significantly harder to beat. Can negate pretty much anything. It also has a graveyard effect, which has synergy with Chengying in the extra deck. So you can banish it really at any time to shuffle back your Mannadium cards, which triggers Chengying. It's a very good card. 2 Reichhardt, pretty self-explanatory. He's a decent normal summon. He gets you to the Scareclaw engine by himself, but really want him in combination with the Mannadium engine. So I just play 2 of it. And then 2 Arrival. 2 comes up like really often in grind games. On the first turn, I usually search both planets, so I play 2 of them. And if you do that, it guarantees follow-up, because otherwise you might just be stuck with like nothing in your hand and just like attack and then pass and hope your opponent doesn't break your board. So I think 2 is definitely correct for each of these. And then 1 Rhoda to get access to Reichhardt and Reinhardt, whichever one you need. And then 2 Fenrir, one of the best cards in the deck. A card that not a lot of people play in this deck, but I think they absolutely should. It's really good going first, really good going second. He gives you a target to pop with Obsidian and replaces himself because he searches the other copy of himself. Lets you deal with the Reichhardt, lets you deal with, really anything. Just one of the best cards in the deck. And then 3 copies of Talents. Expected a lot of hand traps going in. Yeah, I liked having 3. I know some people play 2, but I actually prefer 3, and never felt like I was seeing it too often. If anything, I didn't see it enough. Wish I could play 4. Hellboy, one of the best cards in the game. It's broken, probably should be banned, but not while Shifter's legal, so yeah. And then 3 Ash. I didn't really know what decks to expect going into this. I didn't end up playing against any branded, but it's a card that's just generically useful against almost any matchup. Yeah. And then 3 Book of Moon. Again, just wasn't sure what I was playing against, but it seemed like a safe bet with a lot of cash, and it performed pretty fine. And 1 Book of Eclipse. I had like 1 spot remaining in the main deck, and wasn't really sure what to put there, so I just threw in 1 Eclipse. Didn't see it very much, and it got Ash like a couple times, but it's a decent card. And then 3 Emperor as the final non-engine in the main deck.
How many in the main?
40
okay.
flat.
Onto the extra?
Yep. So 2 Lightheart, as I was saying before, it's definitely correct to play 2 of this. Yeah, because if your board gets broken, or even if it doesn't get broken on turn 3, you need to have that other planet for follow-up. and he's not once per turn, so you can get both. The search effect is not once per turn, so you can do both of them on the first turn and get both planets. 2 Astrolabe, this card is just broken. I mean, in this deck, like the extra deck space is like kind of tight. There's like several different cards competing for that last extra deck spot, so even a third Astrolabe could potentially come up at times, but I think 2 is fine. Yeah, it just lets you trigger Cross Sheep, get access to Baron, make Dissipator, and then he's just big, just pops and pushes for a lot of damage. Extremely good card. And then my QCR Armitara searches any Mannadium, or sorry, any spell or trap that mentions Visa Starfrost, and he's treated as Visas on the field. Obviously one of the best cards on the deck and one of the newest pieces of support from Dune. Yeah, really nothing to say there. Just a really good card. Cross Sheep, yeah, it's part of the main combo lines with the deck. It allows you to link climb. It allows you to go for access code and unicorn as well. So even if you get D-barrier, you can have lethal through it. And, yeah, Cross Shape is just essential to the deck. Baron, obviously, try to set her up before summon 5 if you can. It did come up sometimes. And then Dissipator and Crimson Dragon, pretty self-explanatory. Chaos Angel, I think this card is definitely mandatory in this deck. It's so easy to make with lights and darks, and a lot of decks have a hard time dealing with that. Yeah, just a very powerful card. And being able to have banish removal, it just triggers like on summon and just target any card on the field and banish it, is very good, especially when you have decks like Unchained in the meta. And speaking of banishing, we have Cheng Ying, the big Chengus. Yeah, anytime a card is banished, you can non-targeting banish a card from field and grave, and he's just big, and he makes your opponent's monsters smaller. Not much to say about it. I mean, it's technically a flex spot, but I like it. And then Excel Synchro, it's good for having anti-nib lines. I unfortunately got punished in my first round of top cuts because I wasn't playing the Stardust Dragon this time. I was playing it before, but I ended up cutting it for one of the other cards in my extra deck, and I actually got nibbed when I could have used his effect if I had Stardust Dragon. So I think Stardust Dragon might actually be worth playing. Yeah, Excel Synchro is pretty nice. You can make Dissipator or Baron off of it. Yeah, and then Unicorn Access Code, not a card that everyone plays in this deck, but I think it's mandatory. It just makes finding game like so much easier, and if your opponent has like D-Barrier or any other BS like that, yeah, Unicorn Access deals with it. And the worst card in the extra deck, unfortunately, was Apo. I only made it like a couple times the entire tournament, and it really underperformed, so this would probably be switched with the Stardust Dragon. And there are a couple other cards that people play in the extra deck, like the Ice Jade, and yeah, some other stuff like that. So yeah, that's extra deck.
And finally to the side.
3 Joel. I decided to keep Joel in the side. I was playing into the main before, but like with people hyping up Unchained, I just expected that it should probably just be in the side deck. Didn't come up too much, because I didn't really play against. I didn't play it against any Mannadium or like anything that had like super weak to Joel, so it wasn't that great. But I think it's okay to keep in the side. 3 Gamma Seal. Gamma Seal was pretty good today and yesterday. So I played against like 4 Cash, I played against a couple Pearly, and I was playing Kurikara before, but sometimes you just need the Gamma Seal like right now and not depend on your opponent activating stuff. Yeah, so he's pretty good. He's also level 8. I took control of it one time and made Baron with it, because I have a turnaround board, which is great. And then free Nib. Some decks are weak to Nib, some decks aren't. I didn't see this card very much at all. I don't know if I actually resolved it a single time this entire tournament. Because every time that I put it in against my cash opponents, they went full wombo combo, and I just didn't see Nib, unfortunately. But I think it's still good to play on the side. And then 3 Crossout. Crossout was decent. I mean, it's just one of the ways of dealing with Imperm, which can be annoying. And then obviously for Nib and Troll, I think it's good. And also against Cash, it has the additional benefit of you can cross out Fenrir, which kind of hinders their plays. And you can also use it to trigger Cheng Ying at any time.
That's nice.
2 Cosmic, because it's good. And then 1 Heart Piece, because it's Heart Piece. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, congrats again on your top finish. Any last shout outs?
Shout outs to Team Piparibo, my friends that I came here with. Toby's here, he's one of them. Forbes, who's the sushi chef, who a lot of you have seen on Twitter and also on your channel. And shout outs to me for topping.
Yeah, and shout out to your YouTube channel, SnakeYGO. Definitely check it out. Congrats again.
Thank you.